Hey everybody, it's Neil Ronahan here with Nintendo Report TV, and I am talking to Don Koopman.
Hello everybody.
And we're going to talk about Miitomo, which is Nintendo's first mobile app. First of 5 that we know of so far. And right. Don got to spend, about 2 hours with it the other week?
It was a half-hour presentation and 2 hours with the game.
Okay, so I guess let's start with, what did they show you in the presentation?
Pretty much they gave us an overview of what the app was all about and what basically we had to do to ensure that we wouldn't have a really bad experience, because they kind of want to make sure, like, a little bit of hand-holding, but make sure that we understood what they were going for. And they said, and very early on, I know you're all journalists and usually are very critical of some products we release, but you have to trust one another.
So, I guess, what exactly is Miitomo all about?
So Miitomo, and I had a lot of troubles describing it in like one sentence. It's pretty complex to explain, but the best way I would describe it, like in a couple of words, it's like the social elements of Tomodachi life mixed with, well, it's basically a mobile app, right? So it's I would say the best elements of Tomodachi life were, to me, the social elements, but
yeah, totally.
They've added way more to the game, like to that social concept in general, that it also seems like a more like thought-out version of the Everybody Votes channel in some ways. but that all of those two elements are grooved up to the extreme. Like, it's a super personal thing. Like, they try to focus so much on those social elements in this app. It's sort of insane.
So, how exactly did they go about that? So, like, I mean, you would set up your account, and then, like, once you, like, have your Mii, and can you import your Mii for anything, or do you have to do it from scratch in the app?
So, you can use a QR code from Wii U or 3DS.
Okay.
But they also added, like, an updated feature of, like, the facial feature, where they used where you had the 3DS and then would take a photo. It would never work right.
You'd look deformed.
Yeah, and this thing, it actually works like really well. I tried it a couple of times, tried to take a few pictures, and it seems to take your facial features like really, really well. You can take a couple pictures after one another and then choose what fits your size best. But you can also take one picture. It will take a bit more time and see if it actually like works. But
so then when you have your Mii, you have your account set up. Then, like, what is the moment-to-moment interaction with this? I mean, I take it, since it is a social-focused app, that it's not going to be something that you're going to, like, sit there for 4 hours and sink a bunch of time into. But
no.
Like, who are you interacting with? Is it based off, like, a friends list, or is it just random people?
Yeah. So after you make your Mii, you also have to set up a personality similar to Tomodachi Life, and a voice as well. Like, almost the exact same stuff as Tomodachi Life.
That's wonderful. I love the voices in Tomodachi Life. They're so, like, wonderfully cheesy.
Mm-hmm. For what they have souped up is the personalities. They seem to be, like, when you look back at Tomodachi Life, like, the personalities had 2 traits to them, like a main trait and a sub-trait. Now it's just a single trait. Like, I was, for example, relaxed, and that's the whole description of it. They gave a few lines about why I was relaxed, what the personality traits were, and that was about it. And you then are set up with a room, again, similar to Tomodachi Life, where you almost never leave that room. And that room is also based on your personality. You can't change it. That's your room with your Mii forever.
Okay.
From there, you get to ask your first question, and I was asked, which food did you last eat? And I was like, macaroni with cheese. I love that. And what I immediately noticed about putting your own words in, your Mii recognizes what words you say. Especially, for example, with macaroni with cheese, his tongue came out of his mouth. It's like, and when the Mii said love, hearts came above his head. So there is an algorithm where your Mii recognizes certain words that you say and reacts to that.
Yeah.
He reacts to, for example, money. Money comes raining down from the top. A dog or cat. Your face will change into a dog or a cat. Like for a split second, so you really have to pay attention. But it's little stuff like that, and that immediately makes it more personal. What makes it additionally personal is then getting the interaction with your friends. And interacting with your friends goes for a couple of ways. You can personally sit next to one another and then add one another, but you have to type in a pattern, and then that other person has to type in that pattern as well, and then you connect through that matter, and then you're basically good to go.
And then from there on, it's like when you answer a question, then that person that you connected with would be able to like see and respond to that.
Yeah.
So they could be like, "Oh man, I hate macaroni and cheese," or something silly like that.
Yeah. Well, you can also use Twitter and Facebook, which basically gives the people that you follow or are friends with and puts them in a list, and then you can add them manually. That person has to also add you back as well.
Okay.
So
does it automatically, or I guess automatically or selectively, like spit out to Twitter, Facebook, or other social media platforms?
No, you have to manually opt that in. Every time you want to send something out, you have to manually opt that in. And everything seems more interconnected with Twitter in that fashion, because everywhere I go, like, and we'll talk about these features in a bit, like me photo, taking a picture at random, just having an interaction and showing everybody your answer. Everywhere you can send that answer or that thing to your Twitter feed at any given moment. But it's not in your face, it's only a button, so it only prompts it up when you decide to. You're never opted in immediately.
So it's kind of like how, like, if I were to go and right this minute post, take a Instagram photo, there's like the options there where then like I can select to spit that Instagram post out to Facebook or Twitter. That's the same kind of thing that you can do with this, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool.
So there are various ways to like interact with people like in your friends list through Twitter, Facebook, and then personally. After that, you answer a couple of questions, and then you'll also see like the questions of other people flow in, and your me will say them from, and your friend said this to the answer, and again does the whole emotion stuff. And then you can react to it and give it a heart. It can react to it with like just the same text, and again, even that your me will emote, so it will never be too quiet there. But you can also respond with a photo, and I think that me photo in itself is super crazy and insane and more devious than anything that was ever in Tomodachi life.
So how so exactly?
So you can move up to 5 Miis into the frame. You can use your own pictures as a background, but also like a set number of backgrounds. You can give them like 30 or 40 different poses, like different facial features. You can set them in a certain way. You can enlarge them. You can zoom them out. You can make certain features of their face, of their body bigger. It's a really in-depth and insane photo app. And you can set it pretty much up that everybody is wearing the same outfit. You can make it to a certain theme, and you can even add some text to it. There's a lot of features for you there. You can also just make them randomly without like using them as an answer. You can also just make them and share them on other social media if you would really want to, and I would likely do that because it's too stupid. But yeah, there is a ton of options with that, and I think that the possibility also opens when you just pull in your own photos and make something that your me reacts to.
Yeah. So you can basically just take any photos that you've had on your phone before, your me can just react to them.
Well, if you put your me in a certain way, you can definitely do that, but it's not automatic. It's never automatic.
Okay.
You kind of have to do everything yourself, but
yeah,
there's some fun to be had there. And your me will react into that, and then you have a whole discussion, or like a sort of, you kind of start a talk, because what I noticed when we gave certain answers and put them in the chat, we started talking to one another. And I barely knew any of these people that I was around with. I just filled in answers and I went along. But as we filled in those answers and we started looking to one another, we actually talked about what we actually said. And that makes it extra interesting, a sort of a conversation starter, I think. And I think that is the power of that app.
And I think that's what Nintendo was selling from the very start.
Yeah, and I didn't believe that until I tried that. and it's sort of insane that it works well than I actually imagined it would be. Because
like you kind of were aware of the tricks that it was going to employ, and you still were like, "Oh wow, no, this is fun."
Yeah, and there's also plenty of stuff there. Like you can also, if you want to, like interact with the me of your friend, that's also possible because you can also go to the friends list, go to the rooms, and see the answers they've gave the last couple of times. And if you stop, then after a while, that me will ask you a more personal question about your friend. For example, one of the me's asked to me, "So, which famous personality does my lookalike look like?" So he just gave a bunch of answers saying Kanye West, and I was like, "Alright, he looks like Kanye West."
So they still have that element from Tomodachi Life of the me being like referring to the actual person as the lookalike.
Yeah, the interesting.
I love that about Tomodachi Life. The whole stuff with like, oh, it's Neal's lookalike.
the thing is though, they will also just immediately visit you when more personal answers are given, and your me's will interact with one another, and you get more personal talks between the two. It's super interesting. So that's like the basics of the features that are there. You also have a shop where you can buy outfits, and that money you basically get by answering questions, reacting, making photos, doing basically stuff within the app. And you can buy additional coins with money if you really want to, but I never had the impression that I had not enough money to buy something.
Yeah. Like what kind of stuff can you buy? Like, I guess the elephant in the room with that is what kind of Nintendo themed stuff can you buy, or is there not anything right now?
Surprisingly enough, you get a Mario head for free.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you actually get within the game. I got the Mario hat for free. It was like, thank you very much. I will immediately wear that.
Yeah, because that's where it could get bad. Is it just like, oh, here's a Samus hat. I'll be like, all right, well, I gotta get the in-game money, or I need to get my credit card because I need to get this Samus hat.
And here's where it kind of becomes like sneaky, because certain items will only stay there for about a week.
Okay.
So you might have to invest a lot of time in the app, or actually pay real money.
It's really fascinating seeing. When Miitomo was revealed, it was clear as day that it was like, okay, yeah, Mii's Tomodachi Life, like it's in the dang name. But then you also see elements like it almost like with the clothing that kind of reminds me a little bit of what Nintendo might have learned with like Badge Arcade. And there seems to be a lot of the elements in this game just seem to be inspired with a lot of experiments that Nintendo has made and released over the past couple of years. And like I didn't think of Miitomo as being the kind of thing that would be like the result of years of Nintendo game evolution. It kind of, like when it first announced, I was kind of like, alright, they're gonna try to make like a social messaging app, but it's way more Nintendo than that.
Mm-hmm. And it is interesting, like it feels like an actual feed, but direct reacting to it, like beyond like giving the reaction to somebody's answer, is never possible. Those real talks happen in real life, and I think it complements what Nintendo is going for with making a social experience.
Yeah.
But there is the sneaky thing, of course, of those costumes, and then secondly, My Nintendo coins.
Oh.
So I got to toy around with that, with My Nintendo. So basically, When you connect your My Nintendo account to Miitomo, like a lot of mobile games, or like a Wii U example, for example, would be that Fly game with all those missions. I can't remember the name of it. But
like
it's
Face Raiders?
No. I mean, like a mission list that you have to complete.
Okay. All right. Yeah, never mind.
Fly the Sun. That's the one. Fly the Sun.
Yes. Race the Sun.
Race the Sun. There you have a mission list, and it's here really similar. So you have to complete certain points, like answering 3 questions within a day, changing the costumes of your Miis for a certain number of times, that sort of stuff. And basically, by completing those missions, you get access to My Nintendo coins, and those can be spent back within the game on certain premium items.
Ooh.
Or you can put them in anything else that supports My Nintendo.
Okay, so now I know that My Nintendo has the 2 different kinds of coins. What kind of coins would you earn from this, or is it a different currency?
You get silver coins.
Okay, are silver's used to, like, because it's gold's used for discounts, and silver, or I think it might be platinum in America. Like, I think it's gold's used for, like, the actual game discounts, and the other one is used for, like, Club Nintendo-esque rewards.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. So that means what you're building up here is stuff that then you could use for, like, you know, the rewards, a la, like, here's a 3DS case or something, or you could also use them to get content inside of games.
Yeah, I won't doubt that later on the line you get golden My Nintendo coins if you complete like a certain number of missions. And they also said that they're gonna upgrade like the number of questions and the missions and everything else within the game over time. So there might be an opportunity where you get some more outrageous things later on in Miitomo's life, if it really becomes a success that it wants it to be. But it kind of depends. One thing that I didn't get to try out, but was well mentioned within everything we talked, was a minigame called Miitomo Drop. And apparently you can also get clothing from that, and only like specific clothing sets will only be available through that minigame.
Oh, cool.
And that you can use coins for, or special game cards that you get by interacting with Miis a lot.
And then, do you know what that minigame is? Or is it just like, here's a thing you can play? You'll find out later.
Yeah, we'll find out later. That was pretty much the thing they said to us.
So, after checking out Miitomo, it's coming out in Japan. I think it'll be out when this is posted, or very soon after.
Maybe a few hours later, a few hours. Yeah, you never know for sure.
Yeah, and then in other regions, I think before the end of March is all we know for sure. Who knows? It'll probably just be like you'll wake up one morning and Miitomo will be there staring you in the face. But after checking it out, do you think you're going to get into Miitomo?
Yeah, I think I will. I wasn't really sure before I tried it. Honestly, because I like Tomodachi Life. It's not a game that I full out love, because it has some, like, there is a ground there and it never crosses the line until something more outrageous. Here it's solely your friends, so you can be outrageous as you want to be, and nobody will try to stop you. And Nintendo clearly said that to us. This is with your friends. We're not going to monitor what you do with your friends. Go wild. But I will think that it's something that I could be more personal and have also a lot more fun with, because it seems perfectly built in a way from having that conversation starter, trying to answer questions and see what the other person thinks. And with features like Mi Photo and the many interesting questions that they ask, I think like solely checking in like once or twice a day is enough for me to keep that app on my phone.
Yeah. I mean, it almost seems like, to an extent, it's like a friend dating app.
That's an interesting.
Because the idea of like, oh, we need conversation starters. Like, I mean, like I think that thinking about it and hearing you talk about it and just hearing about it in general over the past couple weeks and months, I think that my mileage is going to vary with Miitomo. I think if I have a group of friends that get into it, then I will have people to interact with and I'll keep on messing around with it. If people that I know don't take to it, then I think I'll probably screw around with it for like a week or two and then have it slowly fade away, like most mobile games that I play.
Yeah, I think.
And I don't think that means it's bad. It's just that, I mean, I'm not really a high level mobile player. So
I think it really depends on what kind of person you are, and that will be interesting if like that subset of people is there to try out Miitomo, because I think it has a lot of potential, but that potential can only be fulfilled if the fan base actually laments to it and sticks around for a while. And I am not sure how deep that question pool is. I'm not sure how deep that clothing pool is. I'm not even sure what the limit of your friends list are. So depending on the size that it can take, it will keep you going for a little while, but it really depends on those features.
Yeah, and I guess it's probably depending on the success of it and if it takes off or not. I imagine that updating those things and adding more probably wouldn't be that difficult.
No, but it's also depending on make it sense from a business side of things.
Yeah.
Because the only things that I earn from at the moment, and I've inspected the entire app to find it, is solely like additional purchases, like small purchases from the coins that you need. And maybe some later items down the line if they are trying to be more sneaky about it, which I'm not sure about yet.
But I don't even know if the goal of Miitomo would necessarily to be this big profitable giant. I think it's just Nintendo wants. I mean, it seems like Miitomo is going to be a gateway drug. Like it's to get people to register for My Nintendo. It's for people to be like, oh, Nintendo's making mobile games now? And then probably we'll see in some of the future mobile games, they will be like, you know, Pokemon Picross-like, where every time you take a step, it's like, well, you need to pay money or else you're done.
Well, that would be too devious for my senses, but we'll see.
But, yeah, I mean, that's Miitomo. It should be out very soon. We should all be playing it and taking me photos and doing all that jazz very soon.
I will keep it on my phone for me photo alone, though.
But you can read Don's preview up on NintendoReport.com, and we'll have more Miitomo coverage as it comes out, and we all mess around with it. So keep tuned to Don's YouTube channel, Nintendo. Keep tuned to Nintendo Report TV, and keep tuned to NintendoReport.com. Thank you so much for watching and listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.